Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, Taco, and today we're back with another video. And week 8 of the season is already here. It's going by super fast. So we're gonna make predictions on it. Last week, I went 7-6. It wasn't the best that I've ever went, by a lot. It was not too good. My total record on the season is 68-38. I'm starting to slip behind, but of course, I think I'm gonna do good this week. But everybody thinks that they're going to do good. They picked their own freaking games. Let's get right into it. And let's start off with Thursday Night Football, where the Bucs will be traveling to Buffalo to play the Bills. When you look at the Bills, they didn't have a great game last week. They got behind early to the Patriots. Their offense looked dead early in that game. They fought back. They took the lead at one point, and then they lost it. It wasn't a great showing. When you look at the Bucs, even a worse showing. I have questions about this offense. They were doing really well, but you put up 6 and then you put up 13. And the Lions' defense is good, but the Falcons' defense, they're not anything amazing. You should be able to put up some points on them. I think that the Bills are going to take this game. Both these teams didn't have strong weeks last week, but I think the Bills are a better team. I have them winning 24-16. I think that it's going to be cold. It's going to be Buffalo. It's going to be a big advantage for the Bills. And I think that they're just going to win this game. Then, in the 1 o'clock slot, the first game that you have is the Jets and the Giants. As, of course, they share stadiums, blah, blah, blah. The Jets had a bye last week. Before that, you beat the Eagles. You beat one of the best teams in the league. The Giants, they had a good week last week. Tyrod Taylor, in my opinion, should be your starting quarterback. I believed it since the start of last year. I've probably never really said it, but Tyrod Taylor is the better quarterback in that room. I have, this being a closer game, it's in New York. Both teams have the home field. It's probably the Giants have the real home field, but whatever. I have the Jets taking a win here, 21-16. The Jets are a good team. The Jets are able to win games. Wilson looks good. The team looks good. It's that simple. Then we move on to the Steelers and the Jacksonville Jags. I don't know where this game is being played. What I do know is Jacksonville has played really well recently. They didn't start off too hot. They had the loss to the Texans. Looked really questionable, but they have bounced back. They have won 4 straight games. They look good. Lawrence looks good. Everything about that team, it looks good right now. When you look at the Steelers, they found a way to win games. They have 4 wins and they have 2 losses. And really, they are 4-1 in their last 5. Do I know how they do it? No. But are they somehow doing it? Yes. So you got to give them respect for that, because the Steelers, it's the way that the Steelers always have been recently. They just find ways to win games, but I don't think that that's going to happen this time. I have the Jags beating the Steelers 27-17. I think that the Jags have just a better offense, just better players all around. They're a better team all around. They should be able to take care of the Steelers, but the Steelers, they find a way to keep these games close and keep them competitive. Then you got the Commies and the Eagles. This game is in Washington. Eagles really solid last week. You got to win against a team that I didn't expect that you were going to beat. But did I put in my predictions that you were going to beat them? Yes, so I was correct. But you got a great win against the good team. They maybe didn't play 100%, but they were still a good team. They still are the Miami Dolphins. The Commanders, they lost to the Giants. Didn't look good. The offense hasn't looked good. Their offensive line sucks, and it's going to get a lot worse when you're playing the Philadelphia Eagles. The Commanders, they always find a way to keep it competitive with the Eagles, but that is also when they play in Philly, it seems like. When they play in Washington, the Eagles blow them out. It's not going to be a blowout. I have the Eagles 23-10 against the Commanders. Look, the Eagles are the better team here. They honestly, this is like their week off besides the actual bye week, because they got, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Niners, all those teams coming up. They got to be, they got to get ready. and it's a good team to get ready against. Then you have the Cowboys and the Rams. This game is in Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys, you had a bye last week. Before that, you had a pretty pitiful loss to the Niners. Oh, no, that was the week before. You had a really bad loss to the Niners. You've had a few blowout wins. When you do win games, they're by a lot of points. But when you lose games, it doesn't look good. I mean, I think that there's straight up a team of good and bad weeks. And sometimes they have bad weeks. The Rams, they looked good. They've looked a lot better than a lot of people thought. A lot of people were sleeping on them because they didn't play well last year. Kupp is back. Kupp didn't have a great game last week, but Kupp is back. Stafford's back. The team is back. The team is good. Kyron Williams is still out, which sort of annoys me. The team is good. The Rams, they took a bad loss last week. I think that they'll recover, but I don't think that they'll recover enough to beat a Cowboys team. I have it being a closer game, 26-22 in favor of the Cowboys. Cowboys are just going to end up being a better team here. Yeah. Then you have the Vikings and the Packers. The Vikings, a great win off the Niners. I have a lot of questions about the Niners, but that team, they got to win. They still don't have Justin Jefferson, but they were able to beat the team in front of them. The Packers, you haven't looked good. I know I've been saying that this team is good all throughout. You just can't lose to a team like the Denver Broncos. All right? You just can't lose to a bad team like that and expect to still make the playoffs. Jordan Love, it's the way that a lot of rookie quarterbacks or young quarterbacks will work. They're good to start off. Defenses adjust. He's got to adjust up here, and that's the next step. But I think that the Vikings are going to get a win here. I have it 24-20. The Vikings are a good team. The Packers are an all-right team. Vikings have really showed up recently, and I think that that's just what's going to make them win here. Then you have the Falcons traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. The Titans are wearing those amazing Oiler throwbacks this week. They look great in the film. The actual team, on the other hand, has not looked good. There's questions on if Ryan Tannehill will play. If he doesn't play, it will be a rotating backfield of Malik Willis and Will Levis. Derrick Henry's your entire offense. That's not good. It's not good. That's the entire thing with the Titans. Not good, except Derrick Henry. And you just got rid of Kevin Byard. The Falcons, it wasn't a good win last week. It was an ugly win, but you did get a win. You are 4-3. You are the best team in the NFC South, record-wise. Not really. I think it's going to be a closer game. These are two teams with sort of a switching of identity. What's going to happen in quarterback for both teams? How's Ritter going to play? How's everything going to shape out? But I have the Titans getting a win here, 20-17, pretty much based off of they're wearing the Oiler throwbacks. You can't lose that, but this is really a toss-up game. Then I have then you have the Dolphins and the Pats. The Dolphins, they are good. They lost last week. They did lose last week. Their offense didn't look great last week. They scored 10 points. 7 came off a pick 6. Not great. The Patriots, you rebounded and you're back. You are back. The trashness that happened week 1 they played well. Weeks 2 through 6, it's gone. I think that this team played a great style of football and a style of football that's going to let them win. With that being said, they are going to lose to the Miami Dolphins. That offense is just too good. That defense on the Patriots is good. Not going to be able to stop the Dolphins enough. I have the Dolphins 28-18. They're a good team. They're the better team here, as I've said a lot. Then it is the New Orleans Saints and the Indianapolis Colts. The Saints they had a bad week last week. There's stuff going on with Chris Olave. I bet he's going to play. It's the NFL. They're not going to suspend the guy. And then they played all right on Thursday. They had a chance to win it. Actually played pretty well on Thursday. They had a chance to win it, but they didn't. Wah. They've looked all right so far this season. They've had some ups. They've had some downs, definitely. Then the Colts. You were in a thriller last week. Really good game. You did not win the game, though, which is an issue because, well, in the NFL, you got to win games. They are in a shootout. They were in a thrilling game. They didn't come out with a win. Some penalties. I mean, they were penalties, but, it always sucks when you have a great game ruined by penalties. The Colts, they play well. Saints, they play well-ish. I have the Colts getting a win here, 24-19. This is going to be a close game between two relatively good, relatively unknown teams, you might say. I think that the Colts are just going to come out on top. I also think that they're the home team in this game, but I'm not 1,000% sure. It's definitely going to give them an advantage. Then you have the Panthers and the Texans, which was going to be an absolute crap fest at the beginning of the year. I didn't know what to say. But what we found out is that one team is actually good, and one team is even worse than we thought. And what we thought was they were going to be pretty bad. The Panthers have just looked awful. Their offense has looked like okay. Their defense has sucked. I don't know how they're going to find any way to come up with a win. They can try. Texans, though, they're a good team. They're going to bounce back. They had a bye. They lost a week before. They're going to beat the Panthers 23-13. Just the better team here. And bad news for the Panthers. Then you got the Browns and the Seahawks. The Browns, you won last week. Again, there was a bit of controversy, but you won in a great game. There's still stuff going on about Watson and P.J. Walker, and is he going to play? Here's the way I see it. You're better off with P.J. Walker as your starting quarterback because P.J. Walker has won you 2 games, and Deshaun Watson, well, he's won you 2 games, but in 2 more attempts. He's not the better quarterback. All right. The Seahawks. They took a loss versus the Bengals. They take a loss versus the Rams, but they have beaten some really quality teams. They beat the Lions. They beat the Cardinals, who's not a quality team, but you got a good test with them. You're going to get another good test with the Browns, and I actually think that you're going to win. I have the Seahawks 24-21. Then you have the best game of the week. That is the Bengals, the Niners. The Bengals, they have played well recently. They had a bye, but their offense has still been a little questionable. But they improved. They scored a lot versus Arizona. They won a game versus Seattle. That's what you can ask for to win games. The Niners, they're struggling. Vikings, Browns, they're teams that you should beat. They're teams that you got to beat if you want to get a 1 seed. Stuff like that. Let me tell you something. The Lions, the Eagles, they can beat those teams. All right? Look, this game is going to be a close game between 2 teams that I'm really unsure about. Just the way that their trajectories have been. But I'm going to go with the Bengals because I hate the Niners. All right? Bengals, 27-24 against the Niners because guess what? It's my predictions, and I can do what I want. And I think that the Bengals are going to win. Then it is the Chiefs and the Broncos. They played each other just 2 weeks ago. It was 19-8. I think that there's going to be more scoring in this game. The Chiefs' offense is going to turn up. They're a great team. They're a great offense. They lost week 1. They still have the best record in the league, tied for the best record in the league. They are currently, in my opinion, the best team in the NFL. Then you have the Broncos, who did get a win last week. They played solid-ish football on both sides of the ball for once. They won the game, which is what you need to do in the NFL. With that being said, they did not win that game convincingly enough for me to not think that they are going to get smoked by the Kansas City Chiefs. 34-17 in favor of the Chiefs. Look, they're a better team here. They're going to definitely show that they are the better team on Sunday. Then it's the Ravens and the Cardinals. Ravens, really good week last week. You beat the Lions, who are a very good team, and you beat them by a lot of points. Lamar Jackson looks great. Lamar Jackson, I'm not going to say that he looks like old Lamar Jackson, but he still looks really good. This team looks really good. They look in sync. They just look good. Then the Cardinals. It's the way that the Cardinals always are, and a little spoiler, it's the way that the Cardinals are going to be in this game. They're not going to get a win, but they're always going to play you sort of close. Besides that game against the Rams, they played the Seahawks sort of close. They played the Bengals at the end and in the middle sort of close. They beat the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to be a fine 3-14 team. With that being said, the Ravens are going to get a win 29-20. It's going to be a nice week for the Ravens. It's going to be a week for the Cardinals. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go. And we move on to Sunday Night Football, which will be one of the worst games that I will ever see. Probably not, actually. The Chargers and the Bears. For the Bears, it was Baguette. That's what I was calling him. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't really have, an extensive amount of throws to make. He didn't have to make their crazy throws. But he was able to win the game, something that Justin Fields has only been able to do once since in the past year at this point. The Chargers, you looked all right. You lost the Chiefs. Everybody knew that you were going to lose the Chiefs. Actually, not really. But you looked all right. You still haven't really found the footing that we've wanted the Chargers to find. But they've looked okay. They've looked good enough to get a win here. It's going to be 28-22. Offense, fine. Defense, fine enough to win. 28-22 in favor of the Chargers. Then it is Monday Night Football. It's the Lions. It's the Raiders. Lions, not good week last week. You lost by a lot of points to the Ravens. That's the end of the story. The Raiders. What did the Raiders do last week? Raiders overall this season, they've been all right. Last week they played the Bears. Did not look very all right. I thought that they were going to be on track. They would be above 500. Be that sneaky team that everybody knows sucks, but somehow gets their way into the playoffs. And that's not going to happen. It's definitely not going to happen today or on Monday, as they are going to get smoked. My biggest loss, 37-17. The Lions are going to bounce back, and they are going to bounce back in big fashion. That is going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.